What's up, YouTube? It's your girl Curly, and we're back for another video. So for today's video, I actually wanted to speak about the art of listening. So there's this book that I've been reading. It is called You Are Not Listening, or You're Not Listening, by Kate Murphy. So today I would love to emphasize the art and the responsibility of being a good listener. I truly believe that people think that they are great listeners, that they're good listeners because they hear or they give eye contact to whoever they're talking to. But I don't think that people actually understand the depth and the responsibility that comes with being an efficient listener, an attentive listener, an empathetic listener. That is definitely something that I feel like we're lacking in today's world. The world right now has been going through a lot. Mental health is a lot more prominent nowadays. It is spoken about more. People are identifying their feelings with it. They are a little more open with expressing sadness, with expressing hurt, with expressing confusion, with expressing feeling isolated or disconnected, which I think it's a foot in the right direction, but so much more to learn, much more progress that we have to make as a community. And by the world, I mean us, the people. Like I said before, I really feel like people are now expressing feelings of loneliness, just feeling alone. Although people are expressing that, I also feel like people don't really have others to turn to, people to talk to, an outlet. People don't really know who to go to, so they internalize everything. And by people, I'm gonna also include myself in that. I have moments where I do feel alone, and it's not like I'm depressed or anything like that. I may experience those feelings from time to time. I think it's a valid point to make that sometimes I, amongst many other people in this world, have a tendency to feel alone or to just internalize everything, to bottle things up, because we don't wanna feel like we're burdening people with our thoughts, or we'll just figure it out later. Like, let's just talk about something more playful, more fun, more, like let's avoid it. And at least for me, I don't necessarily like to talk about my feelings like that because I feel like it's something that'll pass. I understand and I believe that whenever I'm feeling a moment of sadness or depressive moments and stuff like that, or even moments of anxiousness, I know that it is important for me to just feel it, but also not to sit in that, So if I know that, if I know that I need to feel this moment, what I'm feeling right now, whether I need to cry it out, write it out, scream it out, work it out, whatever it is, I know and I trust and I have faith in the fact that it will pass eventually. That's why sometimes I feel like I don't necessarily go to anybody for anything, because it'll pass, And also, I just want to make the point that I know I have people around me who love me, who care for me, who enjoy my company. I don't doubt that part, but I'd be lying if I said that I don't experience feeling alone. So, and I know I'm not alone in that. And then another reason why I feel like I don't really go to people, this is not a story about me, by the way. We're gonna get to the point. I just want to make this relatable and personable, because I also understand that there's somebody on the other side of this camera, you guys who are watching, who may be experiencing these same feelings, these same emotions as many people in this world. So I want you guys to understand that you're not alone. You may also be going through things. Things may look and seem a certain way, whether it be on social media, whether it be in person, whether it be a quick conversation you have with somebody. But just know people are going through real life situations out here. Whether they wear it well, whether they don't talk about it. Most times it is very hard to tell when people are actually going through it, if people are at their lowest, because not many people express that. I don't think that's something that we just openly express. But back to the point, yeah, sometimes I feel like I don't really speak about my feelings or express how I feel about certain things. Not everything, of course not everything, but certain things, because I feel like certain people wouldn't understand, which is ironic, because I want you guys to know that there are people here who do understand, but that is also something that I'm going through. Like, I don't just talk to anybody, I don't just trust anybody. I have a very close circle of friends and just family, but I don't ever really see the need to reach out to people about how I'm feeling, because yeah, sometimes I feel like they're not gonna understand it, or sometimes I feel like I don't always need yes men. Like I don't really like when I'm expressing something and people just tell me what I want to hear, because now I feel like that's counterproductive. And a lot of the times, if I am venting to somebody, to anyone about anything, it's not always for advice. I think people automatically assume, okay, she's expressing something to me, that means she wants to know how to fix it, she wants to, and it's like, no, sometimes this is a part of my process of just relieving some weight off of myself, if you can hear me out. But to avoid all of that, I rather just go through the motions myself. So going back to the book, one of the points that she made that stood out to me out of everything that I've read was that studies show that people feel the loneliest, they feel the most alone when they're amongst other people, which I feel like was such an eye-opener for me, because one would think, you know, if you think of somebody who's lonely, who expresses loneliness, or somebody who feels alone, I don't know about you, but I be thinking of people like in a dark room, in the corner, looking out the window while it's raining, smoking a cigarette. Like, I don't know, my mind goes to the most, I guess, stereotypical, dramatic scenery. Somebody who has no friends, or somebody who is having trouble at home, somebody who's not a great student, not a great employee, you know, people who just don't feel seen, people who don't feel heard. Like, you would actually believe that the loneliest people in this world are people who are introverted, people who are shy, people who are just antisocial. But that is not necessarily true. Actually, a lot of people who are social butterflies, who are seen, who are heard, who are in the limelight, who have a lot of friends, who's always out there, energetic, extroverted, talkative, playful, they also feel a sense of emptiness. There's like a void that they cannot fill, regardless of how many people they're around, regardless of how many people they talk to every day, regardless of all of that. It does not change the fact that there's still an emptiness, which now brings me to another point. I'm gonna name just a few people. This list is actually so heartbreaking, and I know you guys will also feel me on this, but Robin Williams, right? Somebody who's known in the acting industry, in the entertainment world, for what? Making people laugh, putting smile on people's faces, making their days better. To end it all, you know, somebody who you would assume has money, has everything that they would need, has just every and anything, and you would think like, and I know that there's a saying that comedians are one of the saddest people on this planet. Correct me if I'm wrong, but there may actually be some truth to that. But again, it's mental health, it's feeling alone. One would say, you probably have so many people around you that you can lean on, that you can count on. What would cause you to do something like that, right? And then you have Avicii, the Swedish house DJ, producer, musician. You know what I'm saying? Like, DJ, this is somebody who has toured the world and brought life and happiness to people through music, through sounds, through his energy itself. Sometimes the mental, and sometimes people just don't escape it. And then you have the beautiful, beautiful supermodel, Chesley. She was a voice for so many people. She was light, she was hopefulness, she was laughter, somebody that you would think would have a lot of friends, but still the battle in here was just too strong. Like the feeling of emptiness, the feeling of loneliness. And this is all from recent years, you know. And then last but definitely not least, our guy Twitch, dancer, husband, father, Ellen Show, like Step Up, So You Think You Could Dance, community service. These are things that I think about when I think of him, you know, just community service, genuine. I never met him personally, I don't know him personally, but you can feel that the outpour of people in the dance community and outside of the dance community, everybody in the world. So that's how you know, like, this man made such an impact to other people's lives. He changed people's lives in whichever way that was. He brought some form of happiness, some form of light to people's darkness, but he was battling his own. When he couldn't get, his darkness was so strong that he gave up. And that's just to name a few. So my point is, people are really out here going through real life situations, and it is not something to be taken lightly. After saying all of that, I just want to mention that this is not saying that the people around them didn't do the best that they could. They didn't do a good job listening. They didn't do a good job paying attention to signs. Because trust me, I promise you, it is very easy to put up a mask when you're just moving and involved in different worlds, and you have a certain type of career, and it's like you have money and you like to make people happy. It is so easy to hide the whole like, oh, I'm feeling sad or I feel empty. Because also, anytime I feel, you know, sadness, I'll talk for myself. It's not necessarily a feeling that lingers with me as I move around, as I go. It's typically moments where I'm still, you know, or if I'm amongst other people, but like I'm kind of chilling and laying back and just observing. Another reason why it's hard to see is because we're human, you know. If somebody comes up to you and they're like, oh, I'm feeling sad today, we coach them through their emotions, like, listen, you know, just feel it. It also will pass. All this pain is temporary, yada, yada, yada. But some people feel like the pain is not temporary. Some people have been experiencing this pain for so long, but maybe it's the first time they're telling you, so that's the advice that you give them, you know? And because we're humans, and because we do actually have moments where we may feel off one day, I think that's completely normal. It's super normalized, so some people don't take it as serious. I'm gonna bring it back to listening. And I'm not saying that certain people weren't listening. I just truly feel like listening is an art. Listening is most definitely a skill that a lot of people lack. But now this brings me to my point of how listening is so underrated. One of the most highest paying careers in the world is salesmen and like motivational speakers, right? Many people want to aspire to be this motivational speaker, to be on the big stage, to be on TV, to be able to sell products and do all these things. It's an art of speaking, like public speaking. It's an art of persuasion and convincing and having you think a certain way, which I feel like is an amazing quality to have. It will definitely put money in the pockets. It could definitely change the world. It definitely make an impact on somebody's life, right? But how about the art of listening? I don't think listening gets half the amount of praise that a motivational speaker. And write in the comments if you guys agree with this statement or not, but I really stand beside it. I don't think many people truly know the science behind listening and the importance behind listening. I feel like people think they do because it's an easy thing to say. Everyone has a story. Everyone is walking around facing adversity. But sometimes we get so caught up in everything that we have going on and our work life and our schedules and our just everything in our everyday motion, we do miss the signs. And it's not because we are self-centered, even though, but I do feel like we lack the skill of effective, efficient, and quality listening. And truthfully, to me, I think listening is one of the most valuable, or one of the highest forms of compliments. If someone that trusts you in expressing their feelings to you, or their ideas, their thoughts, their doubts, or anything, something exciting, and they give you that comment, like, you're a really good listener. If you truly understood what that can do for a person, the impact that can make on a person, you would also understand valuable and how important that statement is. For somebody to call you a good listener, I don't think it's a little cutesy thing. It's like, nah, like, she listens to me with intention. Whenever we're having a conversation, like, it's kind of like we're right here and the world is blocked off. That gives people a sense of security, of feeling safe, and you never know, like, maybe that's the piece that's missing in whatever mental, you know, dilemma or missing piece that they have. Maybe you were the one to like make things make sense for them, because a lot of people are very much worried about the things that they have going on, or they think that because they're giving you eye contact and because they're nodding their heads back and forth, people would assume that you're listening, but you're not. And it's also felt, to be honest. Like, I think people like myself who are very intuitive and don't often speak to many people, and we're pretty reserved in some areas, we just keep our thoughts and our feelings dear to us. We catch on like this. We catch on instantly when somebody's not really listening. And I'm telling you, like, I'm the type of person that I'd be in the middle of a conversation, and if you're not paying attention to me, if you're not paying attention, if you're not listening, I'm cutting the conversation mid-sentence, mid-word. I promise you, I'm cutting the sentence mid-word. Don't understand why people could just be people pouring their heart out to them, or people who know that whoever's speaking to them don't normally speak up, or they don't normally express certain things, and then they take it lightly when they are. It's like, it's a big deal. I think my empathetic ways has allowed me to be more open-minded, and genuinely intrigued by people's stories. I enjoy hearing what people have going on, hearing their feelings. Really want the best for everybody. Like, I do. But if there's one thing I feel confident about, is if you're coming to me for advice, just know that it is genuine. If I don't have a response, if I don't have an answer, then I will tell you that. Like, I may need time to think about this. This is how serious it is. I may need time to think about this because I want to give you a fair answer. I want to give you a fair response. Right now, I don't know how I feel about the situation, but I don't have much to say right now. And I want this to be a very effective and useful conversation between you and I, because you've already entrusted me in telling and giving me information. It's that serious. I feel like that's where people fall short. I truly just wish people cared more. I do feel like people don't care as much because what they have going on is so intense. And I'm gonna stick by this. I really feel like listening is a lost art. To listen to somebody and to allow them to just express it doesn't even have to be their deepest, darkest feelings or secrets or whatever like that, but even to just express things that they've come up with in their minds, and to just hold a safe space for people to trust you. People feel that. People feel when you're listening with intention, when you're not judging, when you're just listening from a very unbiased position. And if you do have feelings of biasness, you state that, you know, so that they know that that's where that's coming from. Even your parents sometimes, like sometimes you think you can go to your parents for certain things because of the title that they hold, but maybe your parents are not effective listeners. Maybe they're not great at that. Again, because it's an art, and I don't think people are seeing it as that. I just feel like people accept the fact that that's just how they are. Sometimes being an empath can be very draining, because you feel it. You feel what people are going through as well. And because you want the best for them, you want to do every and anything possible. You want to give them all your resources. You want to just pour into them, so much so that it can be draining. So now you need somebody to just fill your cup up. A lot of people who just pour into people, they don't complain about it, they just do, because it's what's in their nature. You know, they have a bigger purpose. They want to be impactful in this world, which is something that I definitely want to do and be. Family, friends, like anybody. A lot of the times when they don't get that replenishing, whether it be through personal development, whether it be through God, or if you don't get that, then you're going to feel drained. You're going to feel empty. You're going to feel like you're not being heard. You're going to feel like you're not being seen. When you play the role of somebody that people can always come to you for, it becomes a lot. And this is not don't come to those people anymore because it might be too much for them, because truthfully, you may not know who those people are. And the whole saying of check on your strong friends is a real thing. Check on your strong friends. Like, just as everyone is going through stuff, your strong friends are as well. And people who want to have a huge impact must be open to allowing people to see them as somebody that looks like them, somebody who's personable. At least me, this is something that I guess I can speak for myself that I would love, is like, I want you to feel like you can relate to me. I want you to feel like you can come to me. I want you, and eventually if it's not just me who you can go and speak to, I want to create something where you can come to like my community, my area, my networks, and get fulfillment from, especially the ones who don't really speak about how they're necessarily feeling, especially the ones who like put on a face because they love what they're doing, they're going on vacation, they're living a happy life, they're, you know, doing this and that, but they still have a void that they need to fill. They don't genuinely feel like people are there for them. You can tell people up and down and all around that you're there for them, but there are certain people that don't know how to take those offers. There are certain people that you have to really understand them. It's deeper than just the surface. It's deeper than, how are you? I'm fine. Okay, that's great. What's making you feel fine? Like, what's going on in your life, or what? But people don't care that much. I promise you, people don't care. They're gonna take the quickest way out. Like if you're like, oh, I'm good. I feel like we're conditioned to say that, oh, I'm good, because you're not actually gonna go down the street and somebody asks you how you are and you just pour out your whole life story, you know? But I think the people who are a little more seasoned when it comes to listening, you pick up on the little cues that is so easy to miss. They're so easy to miss. It's like body language, it's tone of voice, it's just pitch, it's so many things. It's their patterns or the type of questions that they ask, how they react to certain, it's so many things. And I cannot wait to finish reading this book because I really just do want to be better. I think wanting to be a better listener is a great start. And I feel like everyone should aspire to be a great listener, because we have enough people that do this. We have enough people to talk. And it's one thing to be a voice for people who feel like they can't or who want to achieve that. But how about the people that are not being heard? How about the people who feel like they don't have anybody in their corner, even though they're surrounded by a whole bunch of people? It's really hard to decipher and distinguish who those people are, but they're out here. Like there are many people that look like you and I who look like they have it all together, but they feel alone. They feel like they don't have it all together. Yeah guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you made it this long, thank you. I love you. And if you didn't, you know, it's all love. I think I'm gonna come back with a part 2 with a little more information, like more scientific information. If you guys want to go ahead, please go and purchase the book You're Not Listening by Kate Murphy. And I just hope that people are inspired to be better listeners, to be more attentive, and to be there for their friends or their peers, and to pay attention to the details, pay attention to the little things, pay attention to the things that are not spoken, all of the unspoken tendencies, the body language. Like, I want us to actually be better when it comes to listening. Thank you guys so much. I love you all. Make sure to like, share this video if it is of interest of you, or if you got anything from it. Please share this video, leave a comment down below, subscribe, and peace out. Love you guys. Bye.